We are going off the rails. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our crazy Disney show that's all about tangents. I am your host and conductor, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by a bunch of truly amazing people like Rhino.
Hello.
Then we have Jackie Gailey.
Hi, guys.
And Danny Sunderly.
Hi there.
Yes, we have a very great episode for you today, but before we get started on that, I want to remind you that this show is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content, you want to support us, please consider booking your next vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money, and you get that world-class level support from the Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. So head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today for a free, no-obligation quote. Okay, here we go. We have something to talk about today that I feel is going to be very cathartic. In the past couple weeks, give or take episodes, but a lot of our more recent episodes, we've been talking a lot about, hey, this thing at Walt Disney World, we don't love it anymore. You should skip this. Tips to plan a better vacation, including avoiding things. It's been all a little bit negatively focused. And so we need to kind of turn this around, and so let's have an episode where we don't talk about how trash the Magic Kingdom version of Pirates of the Caribbean is, or Old Key West. Let's just ignore all of that, and let's only focus on the positives. So we're going to talk about things today that we just profusely love, that we adamantly love. I don't know if I'm using the right adjectives in this case, but I am using them nonetheless.
You are.
Mm-hmm. So at least I have that going for me. So yeah, we're gonna give love to the things that we love today, and I think
Love's got to do?
Oh,
what's love got to do with it?
Is that you?
Tina,
What's love?
Tina.
She's still with us. It looked like you were whispering for a ghost.
To the
Or were
great
you doing
beyond.
Tina from Napoleon Dynamite.
Wait, no, Tina's
Eat your ham.
Tina's still here.
Eat your ham.
Tina's with us.
Tina's with
Whitney's
us.
gone.
Whitney is
Whitney
gone.
left us, yeah.
Yes.
What about Diana? Is she still here?
Yes. Ross?
Yes.
Yes.
I
believe so.
I wanted her to be like,
believe
no,
so.
Diana Smith, the
I mean,
neighbor from
who
2
else?
houses down.
Right? Who else? But now
Well, I
I'm
mean,
doubting myself.
Yeah,
She is with
in
us.
terms of singers, I'm not really
She's
quite
with
sure on
us.
other ones, but then I was like, well, I clearly know that Princess
Yes.
Diana is no
I mean,
longer
she
around
is
either.
not.
I think that's one of the more famous. Oh my gosh, this is getting very
Diana is
dark.
77 years old.
See,
Diana
there she
Ross,
is.
77 years young.
Okay. We've got to talk about something positive now. That was my
off the
fault.
rails.
Things that we love. I don't care. I honestly don't care today. It can be anything. I mean, Disney related, but let's just preferably Walt Disney World, since the last one was things that we fell out of love with at Walt Disney World. What's something that we're crushing on hard?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a joke again. As we should get serious. I was going to say men, but it's fine. Go sunglasses. I threw them to the ground because Jesus hates me.
My gosh. Okay. My very first thing that I thought of, well, that's a lie. My second thing, I'll get to my first thing later, but my what I've got on my mind is the fact that the Plaza ice cream parlor has reopened in the Magic Kingdom. And I know it has been said in this room that it is simply Edie's ice cream, and there's nothing. I mean, yes, we're looking.
Williams.
Yes, it was
Just to be
Craig
clear,
Williams.
who said it in the room.
We'll just name names.
I don't want to be associated with that.
But I haven't gotten back over yet since it's reopened, and I cannot wait to. I'm really excited to do so because a hot fudge sundae in the middle of Magic Kingdom is one of my very, very favorite things. And I don't care that it's Edie's ice cream that I could get anywhere else or even buy a carton of at Publix and bring home and make my own. I want ice cream at Disney. And so I'm looking forward to stepping back inside the ice cream parlor right there in the middle of the Magic. So
I can smell it right now.
so
Or
good.
I wish I could, but yeah.
The waffle cones. Yes. Waffle balls. Ice cream. So, yeah, that's mine. Thank
That's
you.
the only thing you love at Walt Disney
No,
World. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
it.
one of them.
No.
Do you want my
She's only
second
here for
one?
the Edie's ice cream.
That's it. That's
I
it.
love Edie's ice cream. I mean, if no one else is going to jump in, you might as well jump in the line.
Who else? Did you have one, Jackie?
I do.
Okay, do it. And then I'll come back.
Something I love at Walt Disney World is Main Street USA at Magic Kingdom. I just love it with every ounce of my being. So I love it. I love walking under the train station, and I love seeing the circle, and I love how different it is from Disneyland, and it feels so much bigger, and it is so much bigger, and I could just spend my entire day on Main Street. So I really just like to look at all the windows, and I like to walk through all the shops, and more so for the not necessarily what the shops sell, but more because I love everything Victorian. And so I just feel like I'm in a quaint Victorian town back home in Washington, and it just feels so nostalgic. It feels slow to me. So the world is everything's so fast now. Everything's so rush. We need this right now. I need it yesterday. And Main Street just sort of brings me to a halt, sometimes a screeching halt. Like, I just feel like I'm in a different time, even though I have my cell phone, even though I can, take video and take pictures. It just feels so slow there, like time is just standing still, and I love every part of that. And even though similar to Edie's ice cream, even though I can walk in to the Main Street Bakery and smell my beloved Starbucks white chocolate mocha, it tastes different at Disney somehow.
Yep.
And I mean, the bottom line is that I'm sure they use the exact same ingredients as the Starbucks down the street. However, it's got to have a little sprinkle of pixie dust somehow, because it's just different. And their cups have icons on them, and with the Disney icons, and it's just different, and I just love it. So I can't wait to do that and just be on Main Street for hours.
Edie's ice cream, Starbucks. What do you love about mac and cheese, Kraft mac and cheese?
I know. I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not-
I do have a friend who is like obsessed with just getting iced coffees on the Starbucks on Main Street for some weird reason, like multiple times a day. So you're not alone in this. I know there are a lot of people that are like really, that's their thing.
Yeah,
who love it.
So good. It's like a little piece of home, but it's something that you love in a place that you love. So like,
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I like that you like Main Street because, like you said, so many times people are rushing. Literally, it's a portal it's a way to get from A to B. Like you roll under the train station and you know that you need to get to Big Thunder, or you need to okay, let's attack the list. And so often it's like a chute, right? A cattle chute as we just head toward the castle. I mean, the castle is the weenie of the park, right? The weenie is supposed to draw us in. And so that we might miss the experience of stopping and lingering in those shops, or, looking at windows, like you said. So I think that's so cool.
I love it so much. I love what they do with the windows too.
That's a terrible cut to me.
It was.
That was funny.
I was listening.
Yes, very intently.
And now you're red.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's good. Yep. Perfect. Good thing
Love
Craig
it.
knows which buttons to push without even having to look.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm asleep behind the wheel right
Yes,
now, so just
yes.
bear with me.
Truth be told.
Fantastic.
This is an audio only episode. Just listen to it. It'll be easier.
It would be so good.
All right, Craig, what about you?
That is a question. I mean, and there's probably an answer to that question somewhere looped around in there.
Rhino?
I don't like anything. I don't know.
Someone?
No, I'm just kidding.
Bueller?
I mean, I guess it's more of a general thing that I found that I'm enjoying lately is just being in the moment of the park, enjoying the atmosphere of the places you're in without having to feel like you have to do something. Just we've said it time and time again, so it's no secret about Baseline Tapas, but I was trying to think, like, what is it that I like about there? And I like that it's like a little respite where I can just sit for a little bit, have a drink, but just like enjoy that, that energy of like people just kind of being happy. And like, again, it's different than like Rose and Crown. So when people are like, oh, it's just a bar and you're sitting in a bar, and I'm like, no, it doesn't have that. It doesn't resonate that same feeling where it's kind of out of the way. It's like just off to this corner that's like in a traffic area where you can just kind of see people going by with like their lightsabers and just the excitement and like what all the like the get-ups that people have made, whether it's for like Star Wars or whether they're in Disney princess outfits or anything like that. It's just kind of a cool, like, fun to people watch. And I know it's like a 50-50 on the music over there, but I like the music. I think it sets that mood really nicely. But I think my thing is I'm looking for places and like that in the other parks, like just a fun. Like I was just in Disneyland and I realized like in California Adventure, like I was like, I was spent the majority of my time in there, and I was like, I feel like I was filming a lot, but it was like, I was like, I think I just like being in this park. Like it was like I that's where I was realizing like I didn't need to go. Like obviously I went on Guardians of the Galaxy a million times, but like and the Incredicoaster, but other than that I was like I like just being here. Like I just like the to listening. Craig does famously does the park benches, and I was thinking like I think the thing I like about the park bench is not necessarily that I'm just sitting and looking. It's just kind of that white noise sound that and it doesn't exist everywhere in the parks. That's the thing. There are some areas where it is the opposite, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. Eject, get me out of here. But every now and then, it's almost like finding the perfect echo, where you're just like, I can hear it. You can hear every conversation all at once, but in this just like beautifully blended like sound where you're just like, okay, I found it. Like, let me sit for a minute and just enjoy that moment. And I think I'm just like looking for little spots like that. Like as you guys were talking, I was thinking, because I was like, oh, 2 Magic Kingdom people. But then I was thinking, you know what? Those rocking chairs out at Tom Sawyer Island that face Thunder Mountain is kind of a hidden little spot. Nobody go there because it's still a little spot. But I was like, man, if it wasn't 10,000 degrees in this state at all times of day, those would be a beautiful spot to like just sit and like read a book. Bring a book. Bring
their iPad.
Yeah, something.
Denny and her iPad.
You can keep that spot because I like to go up in the fort and I just sit there and I
wait for
at
kids
the
to
lookouts and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot the riverboat as it comes passing on by. And
I imagine you just waiting until a kid comes up and you're like, "Well, get out of here!" Like, just screaming the second they walk
This is
in.
my fort. Scram.
it's never happened before. It's never happened before. But no, I music is always a big one. This is a weird admission, and I probably shouldn't because I know it's going to only lead to comments of you go to the parks too much to appreciate it. Which, I mean, that's the reason why I go to the parks is because I appreciate it. So I don't know how I go to like I don't know.
You do actually like Disney World, do you not, Craig?
I do. I really do. But like so a lot of times as I'm running through the parks, I've said it before, I'll have my headphones in because especially if it's a day where I'm waiting in a lot of lines, I am typically always by myself. And as much as I like to take in the immersion and detail of the lines, I am alone. And so if it's like an hour-long wait, even 30 minutes, I have a plethora of audiobooks and podcasts that I need to get through as my life challenge to myself. And so I'll put my headphones on and I will, I'll leave them on as I walk around. I love a lot of area music in Walt Disney World. There's not a lot though that there's not a lot of places though where like I have to stop and listen to it. And the two areas for me right now, and one of them's going to be, I think, pretty on the nose, but the other one's probably controversial for you in particular. Oh, no. I like the Magic Kingdom, the turnstile music that also plays at the TTC. I've talked about this before. I will always pull out my headphones as soon as I reach the point in the walking path where I know the music's going to pick up with the first speaker. My headphones are always out and I am listening to it. I want the train station to be back to its full glory with trains rolling through so I can sit and watch. Like right now, not to date this too much, but the scrim has been up over the train station now for 900 years, I feel like. And you just can't sit there and watch. And the best part about the entrance is you get the families who are stopping to take pictures, but for the most part, people are rushing in and rushing out. You don't get a lot of loud conversations and that busyness. It's actually a very calming place if you sit right like on the cement wall in the middle. And that's one of the things I love to do. But I've been in Epcot way too much recently, and I've got to say, once you have those flags waving in the new entrance area, and the fountain is just being majestic as heck, and that music is really soaring in that area, I'm feeling it right now. I'm really, really, really digging it, and I know that drives you nuts, Denny.
Yes.
And I wasn't that way before. It was just like in the past week.
I
Really?
told you the music over there was magnificent.
You love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You love it. You said that from
I
the
knew
word
you'd
go.
come around.
I miss my entrance area music so badly.
Yeah,
Aw.
I mean, I do too, but this one, it actually does work. When you give it a chance and you let it
You're
beat
right.
down on you, it actually...
Wear you
It
down
actually-
like a pebble in a
Yeah.
stream.
Exactly. Then it really works. And like, I like Epcot Forever right now.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually
so
kind of love
great.
Epcot Forever right now. And I stood I went to watch it the other night, and I stood in the perfect spot to watch it. It was right next to a speaker, so I could actually hear the entire music. I mean, for good or for bad, because the A Whole New World section is still complete and utter garbage. But I was like, when you can actually hear the music, if you love the Epcot music, it makes a lot of sense. But I can only imagine how many people aren't near a speaker, then don't know and aren't familiar with the songs, and are like, what is this show?
That's me.
Yeah.
Well, and no one, like the spot I watched all the way around. I walked all the way around in like the last hour up to the show. And right now, like there are a couple bottleneck areas where people are watching, like the big space between Mexico and Norway, and of course the center area that's looking towards American Adventure, getting a lot of people stopped in those places. But once you get back around to Germany and Italy and that side, you can walk up 10 minutes before the show and you have a perfect view. And not that you had there's no screens to look at, you're only looking up, but you don't have, even if you want to get right on a railing, it's a lot of people just aren't back there. So I'm kind of loving Epcot Forever right now.
It's so good. You do need to kind of know some of the backstory to Epcot Center. You just do. Like when Veggie Fruit comes on, and Fun to Be Free, and just all those, anything I enjoy. I get you. I was going to say it, Craig. There it is. But I get you with Epcot Forever, because it is everything I wanted it to be lyrically, except for A Whole New World. Except for that part. I wanted to hear Horizons. I wanted to hear, I mean, of course you're going to hear One Little Spark. And so, yeah, you kind of...
That's the one I
will-
recognize.
You
not the
got to
other
know
ones.
those vintage attractions.
Yeah, but the
songs.
children are a little creepy with it. So I will give Rhino credit for that.
It weirds me out.
The children, the disembodied voices from the children.
It's like a horror movie, like a haunted house. So they're just like, we're singing a song.
Well, especially then when you turn around and there's a Victorian boy dressed behind you. It's like, have you seen Main Street USA, Miss Jackie?
Was there a ghost mother, or was I the ghost all along? That's one of my favorite
My God.
John Mulaney jokes where he says his mother asked his mother if their house was haunted, and she said yes. Anyway,
See, I saw Epcot Forever once prior to COVID. It was, I think it was October-ish of 2019, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know a lot of those older attraction songs at all. Like I know One Little Spark just because I rode the Figment attraction before it was changed. So I remember that one, but that's really it. But I liked the show okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was, I miss Illuminations. I missed Illuminations when I saw that one. I was like, well, this is kind of cool. but I still couldn't work out why they. At that point, I didn't really have it figured out why they needed an interim fireworks show in between Illuminate. But now I know.
They had to build those daggone barges.
Those barges. Man.
Yep.
Guys, this is supposed to be a positive.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. I have one.
Oh,
I have
okay.
one. Okay.
Wow.
Anything, any attraction that allows me to be a kid. I love anything. Whenever I am on a roller coaster, the hands are up. Anything that helps me forget the to-do list, whatever is weighing down on me that day. I love the release of getting to just go and have fun. Like they want nothing else from me other than to follow the rules and have fun. And so Expedition Everest is one of the biggest ones for me, just to get on that attraction and have my stomach drop to the floor and my hands in the air. Big Thunder's another one. It's so for me, I am absolutely in love with the idea that I can come and just be a big kid in the parks.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I tried to turn in my resignation of being a grown up and I couldn't get anybody to accept it. And so but at Disney World, you can totally do that. Whatever. You guys
I don't know why that's
laugh at
making me laugh so much.
You guys can laugh at me.
So
No, I'm
perfect.
laughing because I thought it was very clever. That's why
right.
it just took me a second. Like
Jackie, it's perfect.
I love when you say your sayings like that.
I just want to give my notice from being I actually don't even want to give my notice. I just want to say I'm done adulting and just like it's done now.
2 weeks notice, you're done.
Just done.
you go.
I don't even want to give the 2 weeks. Like I just want
You're walking out now.
I'm walking out right now.
Well, you're not getting the benefits.
Walking out a baby.
Nobody told me the things that I would have to do as a grown up. Nobody told me I had to figure out what was for dinner every single day for the entire rest of my life. Like, I just want to go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and be in the middle of a cartoon and have fun and just forget all of the outside grown-up things that we have. I love that. Oh, yes, Denny. I love that. I want to get into a pirate ship and fly over London.
Yes.
And just go from one thing to another, being in a whole different place. I want to ignore all the people.
Well, yeah.
And their unwillingness to be adults also. That's all.
There you go.
That's fun. I love that one. That's a really good one.
Thanks. Fellas.
I got nothing.
Oh my gosh.
You know what else?
You were the one who said we're supposed to be positive.
I'm struggling because I'm riding this high from. I just got back from Disneyland like 2 days ago, and so it's hard for me to put. You have to reshift because it's a different type of an atmosphere. So I was like literally at breakfast, just like thinking about it, and I'm like, not knowing this topic yet, but I was thinking about the differences, the vibe differences, and things like that. So I'm trying to be like, what do I love here? I will tell you, I did just before I left. I went on Rise here again, and I like had it. It was in the side where you go up the side of the AT-AT instead of staring directly at it, and I was like, I think I've decided this is my favorite. I had my favorite like ride through where like it was moving like to the escape doors and something closes and something happens, and I realize as I'm saying this, I don't want spoilers. It's been out for like 2 years. Come on, people, get over yourself now. So anyway, so it's that part near the end where the door's closing and Kylo Ren goes to pull you, spin you around like you think you're safe, and I had it all the time perfectly where I was like, it just got me a little emotional. Like I got goosebumps, but then I was like, oh, I got welled up because I was like, man, we were hitting the moments, the marks in the storytelling just right where I was like, ooh, like I knew it was going to happen, but it still was all timed. So it's like sometimes when I watch a scene in a movie or something like that, whenever it's like perfectly executed, it might not be a scene you're supposed to well up, but I well up because I'm like, oh my God, like people worked at this and it comes out so well that you're just like, oh, it's, you know. It's that feeling in Avengers Endgame, right? Where it's a lot of fan service where they're having the big battle at the end, but you're like, this was, you know, you've been waiting 10 years for this sort of stuff to happen. And you're like, it all goes off so well that it's just one of those where, you know, you're emotional about being able to finally see that stuff. And it's like, that's what I feel like I happens when I ride Rise, and I was like, I'm in love with that moment. It's like a micro little thing that happens, and I'm just like, God, this moment is beautiful right here.
Oh,
It works. It all comes together. And the fact that that's a guttural appreciation.
Yeah.
Awareness of that this moment was special. This was everything it was supposed to be.
Yeah. And maybe people sat in a room when they were designing that attraction in hopes that it would give someone that feeling someday.
Yeah, it's crazy too when you get somebody that's never done it before that's sitting around you, and you can always tell, you can always feel it, and you're like, oh man, like what an experience you just had, what an experience we all just shared.
You made me just think of another one where when you said when you're doing the attraction with someone that's not been there before. I love being on the monorail as we pull up to the train station, but you pull all the way past the front of Magic Kingdom before if you're on the express. From the TTC, and the kids in the monorail cab with you who capture that first glimpse of Cinderella Castle. And they go, oh, mommy, there's a castle. And I stand there and just go, ee! Like that's what this is all about, is that moment of first seeing the castle, or just allowing yourself to be swept up in that moment. That's so much fun.
Good. Kind of reminds me of something else that I love too. And it's when you're standing on the curb watching the parade and you see a character wave at you, or you think they're waving at you, and then you wave back, and then they do something, they get excited, or they like do one of their little things that they, whichever character it is, they always have their own special little movements that they do. And when they do that, and you realize that they are indeed looking right at you,
That's the best.
Oh, it's just so cool. Even though you're a grown up and you're there and you're just, you don't have any kids with you, but you're just trying to take pictures or whatever. And then that one character is paying attention to you specifically. And that is really something it's so cool, because that character is just really observing who is excited to see them. And they show that they're excited. And I love that. I just think that's really cool.
Well, and every character is someone's favorite.
Yes.
Right? Like obscure, like you love Nick and Judy, right? And so any chance to get to see them, that's not Mickey Mouse and that's not Minnie Mouse, but Nick and Judy
birds.
for you, they're so important. So it's those moments, and I think it's even more important now in a moment where we can't hug them, where we can't have one-on-one interaction. So those little connections, the eye contact or the little, motions or movements in your direction, I think they might mean more now.
I do love that moment when you see the character. I'm not a big, I'm so awkward meeting characters, amongst many other things in my life. But I was thinking it because it did happen at Disneyland, but I know what you're talking about. Then Nick and Judy, when I see them in Magic Kingdom, because I never expect to see them, and so every now and then when I catch them out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, it has that gasp, and that's where I'm just like, I think that's really a special moment, because that happened to me at Disneyland. I was just like, da 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 da. Oh my God, T'Challa! And it was just one of those where I was in the right place at the right time, and he was right there, and I was like, and it's one of those crazy things where you're just like, I knew they were probably somewhere around, but when you see them, you're just like, oh wow, I got to see you. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I was going to say I'm of two minds with this, because sometimes I see the character and I'm like, yeah, who cares? I think it's just the ones that are special to me I care about, and I think that's probably why I'm dismissive of it sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of it too. As you were saying that, I'm sitting here thinking, I think one of the things that is missing from Disney for me right now, and this is probably going to be controversial, is that I feel like with the advent of Disney Plus, they are giving us all these deeper looks into character stories that we haven't had before, and it's not translating into the parks quickly and not here. And I still have the nostalgia for all these characters that I grew up watching, but I'm I'm right now, I want to see the stuff that is what I'm watching and exciting. I went through a lot of the older catalog on Disney Plus for a while, but then it's when you're giving me all this new content that I enjoy, granted, a lot of it can't be translated into the parks, but the ones that can, it's like that's what I want to see. And then that's where it goes off in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that that's part of the mindset is how can they continue to thrust intellectual properties into the parks, especially ones that aren't as, ones that don't get as much care and attention and aren't completely outdated. And it's like, I'm starting to understand, I think, a little bit more about how some of the decisions are being made right now. And I want to see more stuff that's more in the moment. And I know that's always the case. Like, you shouldn't have to wait. When Frozen came out, we shouldn't have had to wait 2 years or whatever for them to, I guess 1 year, but we shouldn't have had to wait then. And we say this every time something blows up. When Zootopia blew up and was over $1 billion, even though I didn't enjoy the movie.
How dare you?
How can they not?
What?
He doesn't like it. He thinks it's
He
too
doesn't
on
like
the nose.
animals?
It is it's too on the nose. All I kept hearing was from people like,
I think
no,
he thinks
it is.
people are smarter.
It
than
is
they are.
so smart. Well, maybe I do. Maybe that's my problem. Is I give people too much credit.
Yeah,
and
I think that is the problem here.
well, I give people too much credit, so I'm like, how could they just come into the crowd and slap me and tell me your message? That would at least that happens in 10 seconds and doesn't take the course of an hour and 40 minutes. But then you hear all these people around you like, wow, this is smart. I get what's saying. It's like, well, yeah, they're literally serving it on a freaking silver platter. They'll call you the silver platters. It's that obvious. That's a Brady Bunch reference.
Well,
They call themselves the silver
Regular
platters.
cousin Oliver back there.
No, he wasn't around then.
That was before Oliver. Craig, speaking of that synergy thing, I'm gonna keep going. Whatever. I'm talking about Disneyland here. It's not. It can be both. Whatever. But
Okay, we're out of time today.
but one of the things that was cool is I know people have seen that, like Loki, he's been changing his costume every week to associate with the show, and then like Black Widow, she updated her costume to match that the white one that's been seen in the promos for the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I was like, and some people are like, oh, the synergy and what. I love the synergy because there's nothing else like that exists anywhere else. Like I love Power Rangers, but I never can just see a Power Ranger somewhere. I can't go find the new team of Power Rangers and take a picture with them. Like, I have to wait till one of my friends dress up like them and then take a picture with them or go to a convention or something like that. It's not, I was like, there's nothing that really exists like Disney that doesn't, it's like what you said, that doesn't literally reach into a movie screen and pull it out for you to have that experience in any way that you can, whether it's through food and drinks or actual attractions or parades or character meet and greets. And I feel like Disney World is really letting the ball drop right now with a lot of that stuff. And I understand that it's the one and done. Maybe that's the beauty of them moving over here. They'll realize that they're really missing a thing here. But I don't know. I think they were trying to push to see how long they could go before they brought parades and that sort of stuff back. And I am not a parade person, but I am absolutely 100% feel the lack of those. Now that I'm not so focused on being like the attraction, I'm like, and trying to enjoy the atmosphere. I'm like, I'm tired of I like the cavalcades. I hate the ones at Epcot though. I feel like they're very intrusive especially when Food and Wine Festival was going on. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just trying to order the food at the booth and it's like blaring music every 15 minutes. And like, so there's some places where I'm like, I wish that you'd start making it a more organic experience again, because I really do love that feeling but I want it to be like what you said. I want it to be more sporadic. I don't want to be tied down to a showtime. I want it to, I want the days of the surprises to come back. That's all I want. Just fun surprise. Like Chip and Dale coming out at Hollywood Studios in their Rescue Rangers outfit.
Yes.
What an amazing surprise that is. Like, I thought that was great. I still haven't seen them out there with my own eyes. But the Genie, there was a meet and greet there with him. And I was like, what in the world? I have never in my life seen a meet and greet with the Genie. And I was like, so, those are things I'm like, oh, I want to go try and find those now. And like, I want more of that. Give me Max in his Powerline outfit.
Oh
my goodness, that would be so cute.
I know it won't happen, but
It's locked away.
It's in
I
the vault.
remember at California Adventure, gosh, my youngest one was only like 4. But I remember Max and Goofy came out, and they were by the big. There used to be a big giant sunshine. I don't know if it's still there, but there was a big giant sunshine in California Adventure. It was a fountain.
It is not. This is
like,
pre
I
Buena
don't think
Vista
I've seen
Street.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
This is very-
she's almost 20 now, so it's been a couple of just only a couple years.
Just yesterday.
But yeah, Max and Goofy came out and they did this whole show. It was this whole thing. It was when their movie was brand new, and we were just all so enamored. It was so cool because we were stalking who the characters were going to be out, and we were trying to figure out if we could be at the right places at the right times. And then out these two came, and we were so excited, and the kids were so excited. Those surprises are just so cool, especially when it's.
I have a video
ones
of
you
Craig
love.
yelling Big Al over and over again. I'm running through the park because we were at one of the Halloween parties, I think, and I just heard him start yelling, and I was like, I couldn't even figure out what he was saying, and then I saw it, and I was like, but they were just roaming. That the country bears were just like roaming, and I was like, oh, I love that. I love those moments. So I would. It's like I want more of those. Bring those back. I know this is both negative and positive because we're trying to say this is what we love, but.
Yeah, no. It's I mean, you know what? That's part of love. Is that you love it despite the not always perfect elements to it. It's if you can see the faults in it, then you know it's true love. I think.
There you go.
I think because nothing's perfect in life. Nothing.
I want to say what is grief, but if not love, persevering. I want to say that now.
Shut up, Denny.
Isn't it love? What is it? Isn't it love persisting? Is it persevering?
It's persevering.
It's persevering. You're right.
Persevering.
No.
Now I'm getting looped in the bowl conversation from earlier.
Persevering. And persevering
Probably.
doesn't sound like a real word to you? Because I think that's what just happened to me. So I was like, no, that's not a real word.
It is.
You don't know words.
You don't know words.
You don't know
No.
things.
That's cute.
The one of the last things that I'll bring up is I've been eating way too much because for some reason Pete came up with the idea that we need a separate dining channel, and that will forever be the bane of my existence now because we've got to load it up with content. I've been eating so much, and for the most part, it's all been pretty good to really good. So like the point that I really like, we had the days where it's just like, I have to go eat at a Disney park, or I have to go eat at Magic Kingdom. Ugh, this is going to be the worst. And really, with the exception of my deep hatred for the spring roll cart, besides that, I basically.
I thought you loved this. Is
just
that a
No,
joke?
no, I hate the spring roll cart.
Is it because you dropped them that one time?
No, that was funny, but they cost $9.50 now for the 2 spring rolls.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
my.
$9.50.
It's because they found out people liked it.
Oh yeah, no, it's just exploiting the system. It's why Starbucks tastes better, because when it costs more money, when it costs more money than it does in the outside world, people say, "Oh, well, the value for it must have went up because the price went up, so it must be better." And
Capitalism.
yeah, it's that's the crazy games that people play on your minds with it. But yeah, I can't even when Denny and I went and ate at Galaxy's Edge with the new menu, while it wasn't like all successes by any means, I was like, it's still like it's been a long time since I've been like just truly disappointed by anything I'm eating at Walt Disney World. And I think that's a good thing right now where the attractions, we love them. We love attractions that we get to ride over and over again, and we talk about it so much on this show, but dining is like the one thing that actually does feel fresh right now. Every time you go to Disney, there's something you can get that you haven't had before. Can't say the same about a lot of the other experiences there.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
It's vibing with me a lot right now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot. Well, just
Yeah.
before they closed last year, they
Yeah, man.
introduced all those, what was it, 400 and some odd menu items that were plant-based. How many?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, I
The
can't
big-
remember the number.
Big
They
When
did that
they added the
huge
site,
release.
Yes,
they had,
the,
like, the
the
plant-based
whole
Disney
big
site.
thing.
Yeah.
Where every restaurant had.
I got to tell you, too, those plant-based options, I have not really... The ones I'm most disappointed in are like the ones where it's like Beyond Burger or whatever. Because you're like, oh, you kind of... I feel like they just phoned it in for that. But there's some where like... There was one I had on Hollywood Studios at ABC Commissary that was like this like curry tofu dish that not only was it like really good... I was shocked at the portion size. It was huge.
Wow.
Nice.
So I was like, wow, so it has been, there's been a lot of, it's fun because you turn it into a game where you're trying to find the next cool thing to get and do. So I do like that. It's like a food scavenger hunt now.
Yeah, it's good.
No, and Disney has been updating their menus really recently to to the point that we can't even keep up. Like for other people who have to be the first to be at everything, like I feel bad for them because like how do you keep up? How do you go to in the span of like 2 days? How do you go to Ohana reopening and Trails End reopening, and then a couple of days later start a food and wine festival, and then the next day after that Citrico's opening up or the same day on like how do you like how do you do that? Whereas we don't really like, we're so fortunate with what we do that we like to get to it as quickly as possible, but we don't always. So there's always that new experience for us, really.
I don't think you can enjoy it when you do that much in a row, right? And that's part is like,
I think that's why people say that we don't enjoy Walt Disney World anymore.
I mean, and no, I don't not enjoy it, but I do. I will be 100% honest and just lay it on the table with you. I absolutely hate the pressure of having to go and do something immediately. Like I would never in my life want to go when it is raining, when it is too hot, and I'm going to get sunburned. Like I am just at that point now where I'm like, comfort for the price that everything is now, I should be a little bit comfortable and not made to feel like I've died and gone downtown instead of uptown. So I just feel like I don't know. So I feel like when we have those moments when we can take a breath and we can say, okay, let's plan it out. So we're not literally like, because then it's like what you said, if you go to Ohana one day, you're pretty stuffed from that. Not just that day, I don't know about you, but I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh, I'm still full from yesterday sort of a thing. And you're like, I need that recovery day because then that does impact the next meal. If then you're telling me I have to go to another family style meal, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be as kind to that one as I was to the one before because it doesn't feel special. It doesn't feel like that treat, right? So it's like...
And food, you're like, food doesn't even
Why
sound
did we
good
get
right
on
now.
this tangent though?
That's
we
because
love
this
food.
is the show dedicated to Disney tangents.
Oh, yeah.
And you're lucky. This could have gotten worse. In my head, as soon as you said Uptown, I was like, Uptown girl.
Oh,
She's been living in her
Bit of
white
we've got
bread
Tina
world.
and we've got Billy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I do.
Listen, here we go. It's going to be you singing the tunes and a music video of me going around to these places at the various parks. Here we go. We'll do a music video, sort of a fun.
Beautiful.
It'll be
Montage.
accompanied by Craig on his ukulele.
Yeah.
Singing Uptown.
It's pronounced ukulele.
Ukulele.
So
The smooth
Please be
stylings of
respectful.
Craig Williams, everyone. He'll be our Duke Silver of the Diz.
Yes,
Oh, I love it.
that would be great.
That's how I feel like when you back to back, it makes you almost start to feel like gluttonous, right? And that's what I get. Sometimes I want to put that in check for myself and be like, listen, we're fortunate to do what we do. And I was literally thinking this as I was walking out of the dinner last night. I was just thinking like this morning too, like, oh wow, the view I just had and the things we've gotten to do, and I don't want to sound ungrateful in any way with it, and there's you give and take, you fly too close to the sun, you give up some of yourself, and that's part of that experience, where it's not always just a pure experience because we have work to do while we do it, but it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things that is a difficult job. So honest to God, when people say best job ever, it makes me so upset. I'm not even trying to be rude to people because it makes it seem like it's not hard work. And I know they know it's hard work. And I'm like, I don't think you have any idea what actually goes into making all of this happen. And like still being able to enjoy this too, which is great that we are still able to enjoy it. But it's just one of those where I'm like,
Well,
it's weird, right?
it is, and I think it's a level of appreciation that we have a greater, at least I do. I have a greater level of appreciation if the experiences are spread out just a little bit, and they're not all muddled together. And it reminds me of the deluxe dining plan, right?
Yes.
So
You
get multiple table service meals every day, plus snacks, plus this, that, and the other. And I think people might say, oh, yeah, well, of course we want to go to all those restaurants and we want to eat all those meals. And of course, if you've been to Disney World, you know, especially in the summer, I don't know. I don't always feel like eating if I'm trekking around a park.
Right.
Eating, much less going and eating several table service meals. Like that's a lot of food. That's a lot of experiences. And so like what we experienced this morning, what you make reference to is the wave breakfast at California Grill. Like this is a limited time opportunity.
Yeah.
You're not going to get this chance again. And Jackie, you were saying something that your sister-in-law had said to you, like this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be able to stop and take a moment to recognize the fact that it is a big deal, and to kind of sit there for a minute and appreciate it.
You got to take that breath.
Yeah.
You know, and give yourself perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
I think your example of the deluxe dining plan is absolutely 100% perfect, though.
Yes.
Where it's like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is that trying to get and have it all, you end up losing a little bit of something. But I was thinking about it. Well, I was at Disneyland. Did you guys know I was at Disneyland? What? When I was at Disneyland, I was thinking like my checklist for there just grows bigger every time I'm there because I love so much of what I get to experience there. Where I literally this last time where I was like, I'm gonna have to let some stuff go and have it be next time because I was like, because if I'm going and having salt and straw ice cream and then having this other thing, and I know I'm eventually gonna make myself sick.
Yes.
Where I was like, I can't, and then I don't want to think about it that way. So it was like I just had to sit down and tell myself like, you can't do everything that you want to do and have everything that you want to eat. Sometimes you have to take a break. And then that makes me enjoy it a little bit more. I did accidentally order like a pint and a half of ice cream from Salt and Straw and sat in my room and ate it by myself. So it's fine.
There you go.
Good for you.
So I did have one of those moments where that was the moment where I was like, I think I've gone too far.
I regret my choice.
That's
That's
okay.
okay.
You have to make it last until the Salt and Straw here opens. I mean,
Well, that's what I was
that's-
thinking. Yeah, I was
that's
like,
it.
it's got to stretch and go a long way, right?
that's
So
What flavor?
It was it was the new July flavors, which are there was a birthday cake one, and I love birthday cake ice cream, but it was boysenberry sherbet, and then there was a blackberry birthday cake. And as he had scooped them both, I thought, well, the split scoop seems like a small idea because I think ice cream scoop like small scoop. So I was like, the double. As he scooped them, I saw they still had the month before flavors on there, and they had the Goosebumps flavor, which is the one I almost drove to Miami to get. And so I was like, do you still have that? And they're like, we have enough for like one scoop. I was like, give me the scoop.
I must
So they
have that.
when he put them on the counter, I was like, oh my God, how am
What have I done?
a child couldn't eat this as much as I did. I did give Mary Jo a little bit. But like
Good for you for getting it.
I know. I love that.
I think it's funny because we're so in the flow of everything that just having discussions like this about the things that we love does give us that pause to be like, yeah, I do still like it. Because sometimes when you're, drowning in the river, you're like, the forest looks nice, right?
Well, because
That's a
it's
horrible metaphor.
No, but it's the thing where if every meal is special, then none of them
Maybe
are,
Jackie's
right?
metaphors might be a little
Yeah, man,
more
yours was
positive.
good. I'm going to give my
I
2 weeks notice on being
Yeah.
An adult.
an adult.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think Jackie just said a good one, so I don't want it to get
sorry,
lost there.
Jackie.
Oh, what'd you say?
So I said when every meal is special, then none of them are special.
Oh,
That's right,
she's at it again.
syndrome. That's
You
it.
right? Good.
That's
I like
it.
syndrome.
If
It's
you're
true.
not first, you're last.
Yes, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, that
when
one's
everyone's
a little
special,
scarier,
no
but
one's
yeah.
special.
Well, that's Ricky Bobby's
That's
mantra.
Ricky.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was
So-
like, you sound like my soccer coach. That's
No,
right.
if you're not first, you're last. That's
You know,
it.
it's funny because my mom always used to tell me, too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing, right? And so it's true with everything. It really, like I think I've told you guys before. Sometimes when I get to come down and come and enjoy some of these experiences with you guys as a team, and it's so fun, and I feel like I'm a tourist whenever I come down because I don't don't live right here. So I can't just go wander over to, the Grand Floridian and sit in the beautiful lobby that I love. I can't just go do that. I can't just go to Disney Springs and get a treat from Ghirardelli after dinner. Like, that's not an option for me. So, but I feel like if you pack in so much special, like you said, with the deluxe Disney dining plan, it's too much special. And then it becomes a task.
You know what's great as you're saying this? I'm actually thinking about it. I think one of the things, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I think one of the things that really does level this out for me when you say if every meal is a special meal, then none of it's a special meal. I think what actually mellows it out for me personally is when people who watch the show come up and talk to us, and it like immediately snaps me out of that and like says, like, whenever they say hello. I was just thinking because, whenever it's the beginning of a festival, it happens a lot. So at Food and Wine, it happened a lot. And like, I always think like, God, this is so cool. Like, this is so cool. When meeting all these people who out here and watch it. And I was like, that for me, I think is what really makes this stuff, like, really just keeps that gloss on everything. So even if it is a bad experience, even if I'm full, even if I'm tired of doing whatever, or if I'm just sweating and hot and tired, it will be those people that really do give it that shine for me. And I know that's a unique experience more to us than anybody watching or listening to this can have. But I just would say thank you to the people who watch and listen to this, that you do that, because I do honestly mean it. Like, it's not an ego thing. It's not a vanity thing. It's just one of those where I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's just a cool, just this one little moment, and you're like, wow.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I love that too. It's so... It kind of brings you to a place where it makes you feel so good because people actually enjoy sitting in on our conversations.
You're like, wow, how do I get people in my close circle to like me as much as the people out here like me? Like,
you were
it's
in
not
my
possible.
head. I have thought that, literally thought that.
What's a friend? Who's a friend? How do you make a friend? How do I get? I don't have any
I have
friends.
no friends. Wait.
That's from that's from not Ricky Bobby. Who's Will Ferrell's best friend with the frizzy hair?
Oh,
Yes.
Mr.
John C.
Cellophane.
Riley.
John C.
Yeah,
his
that's
show that he had, the community access show where he was the guy. That was his like one where he's learning
On
about how
Adult
to have
Swim.
friends.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I honest to God, I actually think that's the recipe that keeps it all special for us is the people who watch it. So for me,
everyone can make friends if you do the Austin Powers method of,
there you are.
there you
baby.
are.
Yeah.
Do I know you?
No, but that's you. You're there.
Let's try that next time, Denny.
Perfect.
We'll try that.
Oh my God.
We'll
That's
let you know.
That's a perfect moment.
That is. That's a perfect moment to end this on. I don't know where that conversation went at the end there.
I was feeling ungrateful. I was feeling like I was coming off curmudgeon-y.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I don't know. This was truly a tangent, I think. We hit it. At the end of the day, what do we love about Walt Disney World?
Mickey.
Everything. I mean, it's just everything. Like, how do you even put into distinct words? Yeah, we can list every attraction we love, every dining place we love, every hotel we love, but it's like, it's the feeling. It's the feeling that you get when you're here, and that's why we're all addicts and we keep coming back. And that's really it. So really, this conversation could have been 2 seconds, but we let it breathe a little bit.
It's layered in complex flavors and all these things. You have to pick it apart.
It's like an onion.
That's what I was going to say, but I was like, don't say the onion thing because we were talking about Shrek
Layers.
I love that.
Okay, that's it. We're back on the rails. We're back on the rails for this one. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you were watching this on YouTube, there's the comment section. I don't know. Just write stuff. I don't know what you're going to write about. I don't know if you're going to write what you love. I don't know if you're going to criticize us, if you're going to be like, what happened to them emotionally through all of this. I don't know what you're going to say, but you can always use that comment section. You can always hit the thumbs up, and you can always make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're listening out there, make sure that you take the time to subscribe wherever you listen, and that you leave us 5-star ratings and reviews if you're listening through Apple Podcasts. But other than that, hey, if you want to support us a little more, Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get that free no obligation quote at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. But that's it for this week's episode of Off the Rails. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again real soon with another one. Take care. Bye-bye.